Hi there, it's Oliver from Spitfire Audio with an extended walkthrough for the Symphonic Strings Performance Legatos programmed by the fantastic Andy Blaney. Those instrument patches do most things you'd want from a string performance, so you can play anything from short notes, long notes, legatos, portamento, runs, etc. without any key switching, just your right hand's playing and your left hand controlling the dynamics and the expression, or even play with both hands if you want to play fast runs. Each instrument patch contains 5 unique sets of recorded transitions and legatos which are velocity and speed dependent. So the first transition is a fingered / slurred legato, so the bow doesn't change direction. The player just changes the notes by fingering a new note on the fingerboard, so it's a very smooth transition. This transition is triggered between the velocity values 20 and 85, so it's kind of a moderate piano playing, not hitting it too softly but not hitting it too hard either. And you can see I'm kind of resting my fingers a little bit longer just to make sure the notes are overlapping. I can't stress enough how important it is to overlap your MIDI information and overlap your notes, because otherwise you won't trigger the legato transition. I usually go into my kind of piano roll and make sure it's overlapping. And if not, I'm just kind of lengthening my MIDI information to overlap it. The next transition is a bowed legato, which is not really a legato, it's a transition. The player changes the direction of the bow when playing a new note. So this gives you a slightly more attack to each note. And this is between 85 and 27 velocity value. So you gotta hit the keyboard a little bit harder. And you can hear this, the notes are slightly more detached compared to the fingered and slurred legato. The next one is a portamento transition, which is similar to the slurred legato, so the bow doesn't change the direction, but the finger slides to the new note. And you can trigger that below the velocity value of 20, so you gotta play really, really softly. Or equally, you can go into contact here, presets, factory, transform, change velocity, then you get to this window and you can fix the velocity to something like 15 or so if you wish to only trigger portamento if you're after that specific sound. Then the next transition is fast legato, so it's a smooth transition as well, recorded at a much faster tempo, and it's really good for arpeggio or, of course, fast kind of playing. Then the next transition are runs, and you don't really have to choose kind of which articulation you want to trigger. It does it automatically for you according and based on your playing speed and your velocity. Usually when I do runs, to probably use both hands and try to play this as fast and light as possible as well, so you don't trigger the bowed legato. Equally, you can also go into the piano roll and program it to make sure again that all the legato notes are overlapping. Important here, the velocity doesn't control the dynamics or the volume. So for that we've got the dynamics here. And this is triggering the different dynamic layers the player is playing. So from pianissimo, very quiet, to fortissimo, very loud. And by default, this is set to CC number 1, so to your mod wheel on your keyboard. But equally, you can also right-click, learn MIDI CC automation, and then you can kind of wiggle any fader on your keyboard, and it will kind of assign it automatically. Then we have the expression, which is the overall volume of the instrument, I usually kind of leave it, never leave it all the way down, because that means the instrument starts from basically no sound, which is not realistic. When a string player starts playing, there's always a tiny bit of attack. Speaking of attack, you have 4 to 5 different attacks, which are velocity based as well. So anything below 10 is the natural attack of the long. And anything above that, there is a series of 3 to 4 short spiccato attacks, becoming more aggressive the harder you play. And for each of the short attacks, we have 6 round robins, so it's sounding versatile and very realistic. We've got everything I said so far is kind of applying to vibrato and non-vibrato. You have the choice here to go all the way down, which is non-vib, and change to vibrato. Of course, you get a bit of a difference in volume there, because if the player is playing vibrato, that means it's more expressive and it's slightly louder as well. I hope this was insightful, and thank you very much for listening. See you on the next one. Bye bye.